So what is up, guys? Suda the Savage back, and this game was absolutely atrocious. The main theme was coronavirus plaguing the entire Saint squad, but in particular taking down Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian, as we had to rely on Ian Book to be our starting quarterback as we lost 20-3 to the Miami Dolphins. Now, going into this game, me and my friend Billy, he's a Dolphins fan, we were kind of going back and forth on social media on who would win this game, and as soon as he sent me the post of Siemian and Hill out, I lost faith, but I acted tough, saying that we're still going to win this game. But in the end, we got our asses kicked. And he even said after the game, like, I just feel bad because, like, you were just completely plagued by COVID and didn't deserve that. Anyways, going to get to a general recap of the game, individual player stats, and a final grade. So without further ado, let's get this video started. All right, so before I start recapping the game, I want to give you the Saints inactives for today, because after this video, you will realize how screwed the Saints were, considering who wasn't playing. So starting off with injury, there were probably about 5 guys that were injured and couldn't play in this game, or a big 5 at least. That was Taron Armstead, Andrus Peat, Michael Thomas, because you can't guard Mike. Man, I've been missing him all season. Peyton Turner, and Jameis Winston. So that's a huge 5 guys, especially Taron Armstead and Andrus Peat, as they are anchors in that offensive line. Now we get to COVID. Oh boy. So we're down Trevor Siemian, Taysom Hill, our second and third string QB. We're down Ryan Ramczyk, which just means you're screwed. You know, you're missing your 3 best offensive linemen. And then we're missing both our tight ends, Adam Trautman and Jawan Johnson, so we had to start Nick Vannett and Ethan Wolf. I don't need to say anything else there. But anyways, then we're down defensive ends, Carl Granderson and Jalen Holmes. Those guys are just like depth pieces, but still. Then we're down defensive linemen, Malcolm Roach and Christian Ringo, just a couple of depth pieces as well, except Roach. He's been getting a little bit more playing time. But then the linebackers, that was one of our biggest pieces that we were missing, as we're down Demario Davis, Quan Alexander, and Caden Ellis. At that point, I don't even know how we stood a chance. And then we're down safety, Malcolm Jenkins, big part of the secondary. Now, if we were missing like a Lattimore or a Marcus Williams, that would be even bigger, but Jenkins still plays a pretty big role. Then we're down Jordan Mills, Dwayne Washington, Jeff Heath, James Carpenter, and finally JT Gray. Don't forget, JT Gray was a Pro Bowler. So when you hear all that, now you might realize why the Saints were just so awful in this game. Onto a general recap. All right, so onto a general recap of the game. So to start off, Dolphins got the very first ball, quick drive, and they did next to nothing, forced a punt. So Ian Book comes out for his first drive. And on this drive, it only lasted 3 plays, as the second play had Ian Book getting his first completion out to Ethan Wolf. So I'm thinking at this point, it's 3rd and 3. We have never scored a touchdown on our opening drive. So I'm thinking this is the time. It's Ian Book time. And a touchdown was scored on this drive by Miami, as Nick Needham picked off Ian Book and took it to the house for a pick 6. The Saints, we get the ball back and we go 3 and out. Now, a common theme that Miami loved to do on 3rd down was that they basically would just do an all-out blitz on Ian Book. And since we had like a backup offensive line, he was just left out to die. So 3 and out here. Then the Dolphins, they make a long drive down the field and end up kicking a 40-yard field goal. So I'm thinking, okay, not ideal to be down 10-0, but let's just hopefully erase this. Nope, 3 and out. Then the Dolphins, they get the very next ball, just a very quick drive, forced a punt. The Saints, not quite a 3 and out, but just a very, very short drive, forced a punt again. And then the Dolphins, they go 3 and out, and and on this drive, I saw progress out of Ian Book. It wasn't amazing, it wasn't terrible. It drove us down the field as Brett Maher kicks the 38-yard field goal. So I'm thinking, okay, progress is made. We're down by 7. Let's just stop them on this drive. We get the ball to start the second half, so let's shut them down. So the Dolphins, they drive down the field, and they have to try to kick a 59-yard field goal. Now, Jason Sanders kicks it the first time, but hold up, wait a minute. We ice the kicker, and on his very next kick, no good. So we're going into the half, down 10-3. All right, so to start the second half, Saints get the very first ball, and we go 3 and out. I just couldn't at this point. So Dolphins on their very next drive, Tua Tagovailoa, he looks deep, throws it for, I think he was looking for Matt Collins, but he overthrew him by a country mile, and it got intercepted by Marshawn Lattimore. This wasn't like an incredible pick on our part. It was just Lattimore being in the right place at the right time, but I'll take it because I'm thinking, hey, let's go down and let's finally do something. We did nothing. Quick drive and punt the ball away. Miami, they go on a quick drive, but it ends with a shovel pass from Tua Tagovailoa to Jalen Waddle on the 1-yard line. as he scores a touchdown. Jalen Waddle just completely scorched the Saints the whole game, proving he was one of the best rookie receivers and one of the best rookies from the 2021 draft class. The Saints, we get on our next drive, we just do next to nothing, forced a punt. And then Miami, well, they go 3 and out. Saints on this drive, we get to a 4th and 1 at the New Orleans 38, and I'm thinking, any chance we get back into the game, we just have to convert this 4th down. And Ian Book just threw an incompletion as extreme pressure was coming his way. The Dolphins, they drive down the field, and they have to settle for a 34-yard field goal from Jason Sanders. And now they're up 20-3. Saints, quick drive, forced a punt. Miami, they also had a very quick drive, forced a punt. Honestly, this game was extremely boring. Just punts from the left and to the right, but with the occasional Miami touchdown. That was pretty much it, though. And then Ian Book, trying to be the hero here. We get to a 4th and 9 at the Miami 40. He's just looking for Callaway under extreme pressure, and he gets picked off by Brandon Jones. And Dolphins, they're forced to we force the Dolphins 3 and out, but then the Saints on our very next drive, we just chose to run the clock out and just finish it. Honestly, this game was just an absolute snoozer, but it was just so painful to watch as I saw the Saints' playoff hopes just slowly fade away, as a lot has to go right for us to even make the playoffs. But I'll get to that later on individual player stats. All right, on to individual player stats. Starting off with Ian Book, the 4th round pick out of Notre Dame. How did he do in his debut? Was 12 for 20, 135 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 picks. So, I feel like a lot of casuals are going to blame Ian Book for this. And well, yes, Ian Book was not amazing in his debut, considering that we were down to basically our backup offensive line, gave him a horrendous receiving core. It makes sense. Like, this man was left out to die. Here, he had 28 dropbacks, got hit 13 times, got knocked down 9 times, and was sacked 8 freaking times. At one point, I wanted to put in Blake Bortles because I just didn't want to see Ian Book get killed. That's how bad it was. In terms of rushing, with that horrific offensive line, we couldn't get anything going. Alvin Kamara could only muster up 52 rushing yards. Mark Ingram only had 17. Tony Jones Jr. with 6. Ian Book with 6. And then Adam Prentice with 2. So, yeah. Lead receiver was Little Jordan Humphrey, 3 receptions for 70 yards, followed by Marquez Callaway, 4 receptions, 46 yards, and then Ethan Wolf. I had no idea who he was until he was in this game. Neither did my friends. 2 receptions for 8 yards. Alvin Kamara, 2 receptions for 7 yards, and then Kenny Stills, 1 reception, 4 yards. And that was pretty much it. The offensive line, once again, was horrific, but considering that it was basically a practice squad offensive line, I completely understand why we just completely shut down. Like, this offense just went nowhere. COVID had plagued us. Honestly, if we had to forfeit this game, I would have totally taken that. I would have totally taken that instead of putting me through the pain of this match, because this was just terrible. Then on to the Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa, he was decent in this game, threw for 198 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, which kind of, I'll dock him some points for that. But they were running Wildcat for a lot of this game, so they abused the rush game more often than they abused the passing game, which will explain their limited amount of points, even though they put up 20. Now, 7 of those did come off a pick 6, though. So on to rushing. Lead rusher was Duke Johnson with 39 yards, followed by Phillip Lindsay with 36, Myles Gaskin with 10, then Tua Tagovailoa only had 1 rushing yard. Lead receiver was Jalen Waddle, 10 receptions, 92 yards and a touchdown. I've loved what I've seen out of Jalen Waddle this season. Now, yes, a lot of passes to him this season have kind of been just like short, and he's doing all the work for yards after catch, but this game, he was just amazing. It was fun to see, even though it was just painful that it was against the Saints. Followed it up with Matt Collins, 1 reception, 40 yards. Durham Smythe, 3 receptions, 31 yards. Mike Gesicki, 3 receptions, 22 yards. Tommy Lee Lewis, I missed the guy. I didn't even know he was on the Dolphins. 1 reception, 7 yards. And Myles Gaskin, 1 reception, 6 yards. Now, the defense just made Ian Book's life a living hell. And if Ian Book were to retire from the NFL because of this game, I wouldn't blame him, because that defense just tried to kill him. They had a bounty out on him, and the goal was just kill Ian Book. I mean, that's what happens when you get 8 sacks on a rookie QB and just ran all-out blitzes on 3rd down. Like, he was just left out to die. I know I've said that a lot this video, but if you watch that game, you would know how bad it was for us. All right, so before I go on to final grades, I want to talk about odds of us making the playoffs. Because with this loss, that just rapidly deteriorated as we are now the 10th seeded team at 7-8. We're currently tied with the Vikings and Falcons, but due to tiebreaker, Vikings hold the 8th seed, Falcons hold the 9th seed, and Saints hold the 10th seed. And it's most likely due to record against the NFC. Now, in order for us to leapfrog those guys, Saints have to win out the rest of the season, and the Vikings and Falcons have to lose a game each. Just one more game each. Now, we play the Falcons in Week 18, so we can beat them there. The Vikings lose another, and we just win out. We can leapfrog right up to 8. But now we have to worry about the 7 and 6 seed, which are San Francisco and Philadelphia. So if the Saints were to tie the Eagles for a wild card spot, Philly would win out because they have tiebreaker over us since they beat us this season. And if we tie San Francisco, the only way that we will have tiebreaker over them is if we win out and San Francisco loses to the LA Rams in Week 18, because with that, we will have a better win percentage against the NFC and we'll make it in. Now, if we get to a three-way tie, there's just so many ways to break this down. I can't even explain it, but if we get to a three-way tie, just look it up. They'll probably explain the scenario on who would make it in that case. All right, so for final grades, I'm going to give the Saints offense a 2 out of 10, strictly all on Corona. It's pretty much all that, because with a backup offensive line, horrific receiving core, leaving Ian Book out to die, it was just like the worst case scenario. But the defense, I'm actually going to give an 8 out of 10. I think we played a very good game today, outside of what we did against Jalen Waddle. So defense did a solid job. Dolphins offense, I'm going to give a 5 out of 10. Yeah, you did score 20 points, but that came off a pick six, 2 field goals, and a touchdown to Jalen Waddle. So your offense wasn't really all that special because there were many times where you were forced to punt. But the defense, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10. I'm only docking a point because of the Saints scenario that they were under. Final grade for the Saints, I'm giving them a 5 out of 10. And the Dolphins, I'm giving a 7 out of 10. On to the outro. And that is going to wrap up my video for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you want to watch Week 16 predictions, click right over here. If you like this video, drop a like, subscribe to my channel by clicking over here, or the subscribe button down below. Comment down below what your thoughts were on this game. I'll make sure to follow me on all my social medias, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, at Brennan Suter. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Who Dat Nation, in desperation mode, is out.